Welcome back to the channel. I'm saying that to me because I've been gone for about 4 months now. With a full-time job in the winter, it's hard to make videos, but I'm back again and I have some cool things down the line I hope you stay tuned for. I got the Hellcat Enforcer. He's going to be coming back on. He's made some awesome changes to his car. Full show status now. It is looking amazing. I got an MGTC, I think it's a 1943. I'm probably terrified to drive it, but I'm also excited. And I got another gentleman that just does swaps to everything that don't make sense. So he's got like a Honda Civic with a 4G63 motor. He's got a Mini with a K-swap, and they're all-wheel drive, and they're just bonkers with giant turbos. So I'm excited to see if I can get him on here. And if you want to stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Now let's talk about what might be my biggest love and hate at the same time, my Subaru WRX. In anything, you are always defined by your weakest component. And in this case, my weakest component was the top mount intercooler. I was getting a lot of heat soak and I was getting a lot of feedback knock, and my tuner kept having to dial it down and down and down until I was effectively at just a little bit more than what the stock turbo would give me. Now with the FP Blue and the front mount intercooler that I should have gone with in the first place, and 2 years by the way, I'm finally at the power levels that I want to be, with the weakest link being the transmission, and I'm not spending that money. You might sense some aggravation from me regarding money, and you do. I spent way too much to get this far. Any current owners of a stock WRX, just leave it alone. There's simply no way to justify it unless you enjoy wasting money. Having said that, this is totally worth it. I'm having a blast driving it. I'm now at 424 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque to the wheels, with up to 28 pounds of boost from the FP Blue turbo I had installed. Before you start commenting that I'm going to blow the motor, I've taken the proper steps to ensure I don't. With a semi-decked block, Manley pistons and rods, upgraded camshaft, TGV deletes, and a bunch of other goodies, I've done plenty to the internals to make sure it can handle this power. Now let's hop in the car and just show you what I'm talking about. Before we even get into the power I now have, the first change I made because I was getting extremely aggravated by the R400 Invidia exhaust. Quick tip, don't let other people choose the exhaust you think you might like. Just do your research. So I went from this sound to this sound. For me, it's a huge difference in sound, and it makes the car so much more drivable. I also don't get these stupid shakes throughout the car because the way that thing just rumbled, it was so annoying. So the R400 to me is just for someone who's putting down like 800 wheel horsepower and you just need the sound to match the power. In this case, quieter is better, and now I get to hear that sweet TiAL blow-off valve that I got a little bit better. Yeah, I even feel like weird things, like starting off is just so much easier. I think it's in my head, but it seems like rather, that it's just a much easier drive overall without all the extra shaking and rattling from the stupid exhaust. So I'm gonna just loop around here and get onto that on-ramp, and I'm gonna show you what this little SOB can do. I still don't launch the car. I am dealing with a stock 5-speed, so I just take it kind of easy between my shifts. You'll see right now. Oh, it sounds delicious. Everything together now, I don't know what that, it's like an angry dog. Once I let off of it, you get that kind of reverberation through the exhaust. There's a lot more blow-off valve sound too. I get a really cool. So I did all this at DDA Tune. So shout out to DDA Tune in Newburgh, New York. Remy treats me good as always. However he tuned it, I have a lot more playability with the car on all gears and a lot more of the rev range too. The funny thing is, since I've made all these changes, I've actually been driving it slower, weirdly enough. With great power comes great responsibility. And I'm trying to be responsible. You want to see second again? You want to do second again? All right, fine. Jesus Christ. I go from 30 to 60 in a heartbeat. And I know all of us Subaru owners, we stare at this Accessport because you just know that it's going to give you a value you don't want to see eventually. I have zero feedback knock consistently. and my fine knock learn is at about a negative 1.4. Sometimes I'm like, man, I could have owned a Kia Rio and had an extra 30 grand in my pocket. So just take that in consideration, because you can still have fun in a Kia Rio, you know? You hit 4,000 RPM in that thing, you're at 20 miles an hour, it's gonna feel like nothing else ever before. So you see this now? This exhaust noise right now is totally manageable. I can hear myself think finally. And then when you don't want it to be manageable, and a little bit of that. The only thing is, the power is kind of beyond how I know how to handle the car now. So I haven't gone aggressive like on a windy road like this. I now don't know how to throttle it. It just kind of comes on, it like hurdles you. So I was considering taking the car to Lime Rock maybe, get it on an actual track and enjoy it that way, because, you know, street driving is just not the best answer for this car right now. So I read some things, and everybody says that once you go to a front mount, the hood scoop, obviously ineffective. I take cooling like I do in computers. The more air you get somewhere is always better. So I started doing some research, and they said if you gotta plug that hole, because then all that air is effectively just going to be creating aero lift, which it's not like I'm doing 200 miles an hour here, and then it's negating the air that should go into the intercooler. I don't totally get that, because the intercooler is before the hood scoop. So I bought this, I think it was KS Tech or something like that. Bought this, you know, $50 piece of metal, which was a total ripoff. It works, I guess. I mean, it's blocking the hole. The only reason I really did is because I don't like really getting water into the engine bay when I'm washing it or when it's raining. Either way, thanks for watching. I hope you appreciate this video and the changes I made, because I spent friggin' money and you better appreciate it. And part of me does this for you. It's for you, it's not for me. It's for me. But I hope to have a couple of videos coming up in the future, and you know, like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and always stay tuned for the blooper, because there's always a 3-second wait after my videos and then a blooper. So enjoy it. If I did the intro like Christopher Walken, would you watch even more or less? Who knows? Not even I like my impression.